actually profits from your pain? This is for the estranged moms as well as the no contact children. Earlier today, I made a video regarding, yes, I know, bed hair don't care. Listen to what I'm saying. Earlier today, I had made a video regarding these roses that I received by a member of my ministry, and they are called the Magnificent Roses, and I dedicate them to the estranged mom. Still do. And while I was making the videos, I began to share more about my relationship with my mom, and I need to reiterate a couple of things that I didn't share here on this page. First of all, I was brought up in a very highly volatile atmosphere. It was an atmosphere of fear, an atmosphere of unpredictability, and it was very volatile. It was highly abusive, and the term abuse back in the 70s had more accuracy and potency. And so therefore, just as an example, in disciplining or in anger, there was fire involved, knives involved, extension cords involved, hoses, like water hoses involved. There were things like that was involved there. It was also a lot of abandonment and neglect, a lot of stuff, just a lot of stuff, right? And so that's where I came from. So by the time I was 18, I just had my first baby. Now I'm 19, let's say 19. And I had a moment where I'm like, why did all these things happen? Like, why did my father prefer his wife's children who does not have his blood versus his own children? And that was a lot of issue for me. So at 19, I went on a quest, and I was just like, why? Just why? No. On both of them, separate accounts that I visited them, it was hard to get my father. It was really bad the way it happened, but it did. And then I spoke to my mom. Both accounts, they both have like different memories. And so I'm going to want to focus on my mom because a lot of people are really kind of gunning for her. Moms, that is. With my mom, I remember I was 20 years old, just gave birth to my second baby. And I was sitting down talking with her and then the wives. And then as she's talking to me, and I'm like, she's talking to me like I wasn't there. I was right there. I seen you do that. And I experienced you doing this. And so I'm looking at her, and I'm like, at that point, I could either be upset and angry or just know that's my mom. I chose that's my mom. I would never have another like her. She's flawed. And I came to the realization at a very early age that she gave to us. She loved us in the ways that she could, and we may have felt, each of us, she had 7 children, and everyone has their own, plethora of wounds, but she loved us as best as she could. She also gave us what she had. And so if she was abused as a child, that's what she gave us. If she was abused or if certain things happened to her, that's what we became. We became containers of her rage. But she loved us. It was mad. It was sad. It was mad. It was heartbreaking. It was all those things, but it was also my mom. Now I know that we live in an age today that's like, well, you can cancel them. No, you can't. You can't cancel your mom. The person that damns, D-A-M-N-S, right? There's a difference between hoe and whore. There's a difference between damn and damned. The person this damns is you, followed by your children. But I'll get to that in a minute. And so I forgave my mom. And listen, when I forgave her, it wasn't like, well, why don't you take accountability? My mother, listen, if I would have known the term narcissist, because it wasn't really out there at the time that I was growing up, if I would have known listen, later on in life, maybe in my 50s, my early 50s, I had researched in a DSM what is exactly the traits of a narcissist behavior and disorder. My mom's picture should have been there, along with my father. He was a musician. Both of their pictures should have been there. And then when you research, because I did, furthermore, on the type of children that comes from those type of parents, it was exemplified in all of my siblings. Because, a sidebar, before I got pregnant, I was on my way to college to study psychology. So that's always been an interest of mine. I just do it without the studies. I have books on it. And so my mom exhibiting that, me coming from an abusive background, according to today's culture, it would be canceled. I can't cancel my bloodline. We know this. That's no more than you can cancel your actual bloodline inside your body. It's intermingled in you, boo. Just like the roots of a tree. It's intermingled into the ground. It's a lot. It goes deep and wide. And your rage is not even allowing you to see rationally. You're thinking with your feelings and you're thinking they need to bow down. No, you do. Yeah, you. The children need to bow down because that's still your parent. If you are in Christ, those who are seeking to follow Christ are dare consider themselves to be Christian. Let me put you on notice. In Christ's world, in God's world, in his kingdom, the point of forgiveness does not fall, the burden of forgiveness does not fall on the person who offended you. The person who must forgive is you. Whether they ask you to forgive or not, whether they even recognize that they damaged you, whether they recognize anything that they did against you, it does not even matter. Jesus gave no addendum to that. He said that if you don't forgive others of their sins, he will not forgive you. And then he said, you have to forgive from your heart. Your prayers, or your unforgiveness rather, will hinder your effectiveness of prayer and your relationship with God on a very extreme level. Not worth it. For me, I wasn't thinking all that. I was just thinking, this is my mom. I love her. She's not going to take accountability for nothing. And she didn't. She's not going to see, nope, she ain't going to see, even though all her kids said the same thing. She ain't going to see any of that. Mama going to tell us what the narrative is. And that's what, now, my mother, coming from the boomers, my mother is different from the Xers. We would take accountability. I know I have, but when is it enough? We would sit down and talk, but when is it enough? Because you're saying, what the kids are saying, is you must bow down, you must do it this way, and it has to be. It is so haughty and conceited, so entitled. The way these children are coming at their parents, you can wind up sending yourself to hell with that. And your parents repented and is now in the bosom of Christ. Real talk, real tea. But then, who benefits from your pain? Because if you have someone in your ear, yeah, they're narcissists. Yeah, they're evil and yeah, it's traumatizing. But who do you think benefits? Because they certainly benefited from us. Because that whole therapy era that we're in, child, I was looking at, what's the name of that show? The Pop the Balloon thing. And now part of the criteria, where back in the day, it used to be, you got a good paying job, you don't run around and cheat, you don't have any addictions, and you don't have no diseases. Okay, for the most part, we good. Okay, and it's just, you're just with women. Okay, yeah, that's good. Now it's, but do you take therapy? What? These are the people who are twisting your brain, being paid to do that, to manipulate you and cause you to think things that are not true to be true. Hence deception. The more therapy you get, the worse you get. Look at culture. This is beyond just you. The more therapy that our culture gets, the worse our culture gets. No, if you like therapy, I'm going to give you some. Humble yourself. Go back to your parent. Say, I'm sorry for my ridiculousness. Talk to them. Hey, can we talk about this? Whatever they say, thank you. They may not agree with your narrative. They may not see the events the way, and you may not see the events that they do. That's called understanding, and it's also called growth. And if you think you're going to break a generational curse by perpetuating the curse into the next generation, the only thing that you're doing is ensuring that your children are going to carry this curse as well. Because we tried it in our year, and now look at you. So I just wanted to leave that with you. I completely forgot about the fact that, yeah, I had a moment with my mom, but then at like 18, 19, 20 years old, I'm like, that's just my mom. I love her. Keep it pushing. I would take care of her. I would be upset with her, but you would get hurt if you talk about her. That's my mother, and she deserves, as flawed and as messed up, she was messed up. But guess what? 9 times out of 10, she came out of something that was messed up and did the best that she could, just as you were doing in your, whatever you're in, right? And so to all the moms, the estranged moms, big up, I rock with you. You're my tribe. With those children, y'all need to humble yourselves. Stop asking your parents to humble themselves. Humble yourselves and go back to your parent. You are fortunate that you're not dealing with the boomers, because we had to deal with them. You're dealing with Gen Xers who are looking to improve themselves. And they will do that whether you get into order or not. God bless.